going to share about feminine and masculine energy. The sacred feminine is radiant, confident, creative, expressive, intuitive, healthy self-love with boundaries, compassionate. Now, the wounded feminine, I was very much this before Tantra: shame and guilt, over explaining, feeling repressed, always apologizing for yourself, people pleasing, having self-doubt, feeling unworthy. When I was modeling in LA, being very casual about sex, that was a lot to feed my ego. So feeling unworthy, lacking boundaries, and being codependent. Now, the sacred masculine is fully present, able to hold a safe space, structured, very aware, discerning, decisive, with purpose, with clarity. And as a woman, I can have these traits as well. When I am having a yin yang, I'm having a healthy balance of my masculine and feminine energy. I'm able to do the dance between. And I was very much of my wounded masculine as well. I was very demanding, dominating, controlling. I would often humiliate the surgeons, USC, some of the top surgeons in the world. I'd be at the nurses station, humiliating them in front of everyone else if they were acting like jerks. And the other nurses were like, oh my God, I love when you do that. You always say the things I want to say. Overthinking, overdoing, being forceful, manipulative. And we can all do this. No one is perfect. We're here human, having the human experience. But when we can be aware of this, we can have this different relationship. And when we heal these wounded aspects of ourselves and give them the love and the care that it needs, and then we can lean into these other ways where we can show up. And it makes such a radical difference in our lives. My life has changed so much. Another thing that I learned was people's behavior is a reflection on them. My response to their behavior is a reflection on me. So that made it to where I didn't always think I had to like point at someone and say, hey, you're not doing this right, when a surgeon was acting like a jerk. Unless it was something that was maybe putting my patient at jeopardy. I was always really good at being a patient advocate, but I didn't have to do anything unnecessary, because I was like, all right, at the end of the day, a lot of times when other people are activating something within us, we see someone doing something we don't like. Now I'm check myself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I'm like, oh, what is the lesson for me here? How do I do this also in my life? A lot of times where you point the finger, you have three fingers pointing back at you, right? Whenever you're able to balance these energetics is so beautiful. In fact, recently I had a client that he's a top executive in his 60s. He's always worked a lot, head of Fortune 500 companies, very successful. But now I've been coaching him some regulating his nervous system and health coaching, because he's having an irregular heartbeat and AFib, because he's always used to forcing and making things happen. And I wasn't coaching him on sex, but he was sharing with me also that he would be really triggered or activated whenever he would see men act very egoic. When he would go play golf or something, he just didn't like to even go into the locker rooms and hear how some of the men would behave. He was operating from a feminine energy, though, in a way. So I shared with him like favorite male coaches that I've worked with that show a healthy, safe space of masculine, so he could see that. At the same time, he was sharing with me that his wife would always kind of be nagging him all the time. I shared with him, if you can't hold a certain masculine dynamic with her and your energy and feel into that, and you can't lead, then she is always, women, we're always testing because we're checking for safety. So I said, she's just checking to see if she can feel safe. And it's not that she really wants to be testing you all the time. She would really love to relax and surrender. But if you're not showing up in a safe masculine where she feels like she can relax, like you lead the dance, then she's just not going to relax and she's going to continue to do that. So he started changing his energetics within that and started calming his nervous system. And they're now having better sex. I said, how long has it been since you've been able to connect this way with her? He said it'd been decades. And she's responding, he's like, I can't even believe that even my energy and my nervous system were impacting my marriage like this. And this is just within a few months of me working with him. So it was really beautiful. Now, if you want to think of the masculine and feminine energy, though, think of like a riverbank. The masculine energy is like the riverbank, and the feminine energy is like the water flowing through it. Now, if there's no riverbank and all the feminine energy wanted to flow, and the feminine is like what I'm doing, flowy words, very talkative, expressive, right? Masculine energy is to the point, very direct. So the river, if the water's flowing very forcefully. If you see a wild raging river, right? And there's not a riverbank, it can create destruction. It will go everywhere and flood everything. You need to have that masculine, even in your business structures and all areas of your life. You need to have the masculine. Think of it as like the riverbanks, and it's going to channel the direction of that flow of water. And then the feminine energy can flow even more powerfully and more beautifully because it doesn't have to worry about being destructive. It's just safe to express and to be in flow.